Hello, good evening. This is the Benson Media, and today is on a Saturday. We are blessed to have this opportunity uh, to just, of course, have a conversation. More of it would be based on the Kakamega rally, the rally that was held by the Linda Mwananchi team, of course, led by Edwin Sifuna, Babu, James Orengo, together with their team. I want to take this opportunity to remind you that I'm your host, Marco Bura, and today I'm happy to have been joined by our good friend, Mr. Barak. Allow me to take this opportunity to just welcome Mr. Barak na labda tuambie amepotelea wapi. Mr. Barak, karibu.
Asante bwana Mark. Nimefurahi kuwa hapa. Good evening all viewers and bwana Mark. Sijapotelea kwingine, nimepotelea tu hapa na pale. Unajua siku hizi tuko kwa Linda ground, maana tuko kwa Linda wananchi, so shughuli ni mingi. But niko sawa na nimefurahi kuwa hapa jioni ya leo.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Barak. And you've been away, so we haven't really gotten to understand whether you are on the Linda Mwananchi or you are on this other side of Linda ground. And maybe your view, what are your views on the two factions within ODM? Which group do you think is speaking the views of the people or the challenges? Or maybe your view, which group do you think is genuinely discussing the issues and maybe representing the values or the stance, the political stance that Raila Odinga used to have?
I think you know Kenyan politics is very emotive, and you find that people support whoever they are supporting because they think that person speaks whatever they want to hear. But the reality is that no politician speaks on behalf of the common Mwananchi. These people are just looking for their own interest. And if you want to know, that is the truth. If you look at the political journey of Raila Odinga, yeah, if you look at his fight for freedom or whatever, democracy or whatever, and you look at the history of handshakes that he had, and the results of those handshakes, you realize that politicians look after their interest. And once their interest is taken care of, Mwananchi becomes, the interest of Mwananchi becomes not really important according to them. They become subordinate. So I am seeing people aligning themselves with Linda Ground, Linda Mwananchi, Linda Ground, Linda Mwananchi. But if you look at these formations critically, you'll see that these people, they are something that they are after. Whether it's in Linda Ground or whether it's Linda Mwananchi, they are just fighting for their space. And remember that Raila was controlling a constituency that everybody is really envious of. They are just looking for a way of trying to inherit that constituency. So they will try as much as they can to ensure that they fit into the vacuum that Raila left. So in that scramble for Raila's constituency, you'll see people trying to come up with new ideas or new ways to try to fit into, to appeal to that constituency so that they can fit into that. And if you look at Linda Mwananchi, the function of Linda Mwananchi, you see that they are led by Sifuna and Babu. I will not mention Orengo because Orengo has been there since 1970s. So I think he's one of the people that should have left the stage for the new blood to take place. So if you look at Babu and Sifuna, those are leaders who are Nairobi leaders. They represent Nairobi constituency in terms of their political base. And remember, Raila has been controlling votes in Nairobi, like half of the votes of Nairobi, since he became a political force in this country. So remember, that vacuum is there. So these guys are scrambling to inherit that block. The half of Nairobi that Raila has been controlling, because the other half has been controlled by the other side. And the other side has been either during Kibaki's time it was Kibaki, during Uhuru's time it was Uhuru. And remember when Ruto was becoming the president in 2022, his side, because they were also aligning with the Mount Kenya votes, they controlled the other half. So this half that Raila was controlling in Nairobi, it is an open, it is, let me call it not open, but I think it's a fertile ground for political competition. So they have to ensure that they try as much as they can, because if you inherit that block and the half of Nairobi follows you, then I think politically you could have sent a strong signal to the leadership that I am here and you have to listen to me if you have to govern this city, if you have to govern this country peacefully. Because once you control half of Nairobi, then no government will rule this country without listening to you. And that is how Raila managed to survive all all the years that he has been either losing or being rigged out of elections. So this is why you see this formation. So as you do not develop an idea in your mind, the way I'm seeing people all over social media thinking that there is any politician who is fighting for yourself. My friend, nobody's fighting for you. You should fight for yourself and improve your life if you're having problems. Yeah. No politician will even sit in state house and start thinking of how to improve your life. No. These guys, they are fighting for themselves and they are looking after their own interest. Yeah. So that fertile ground in Nairobi is what is causing all this activity that you are seeing, either Linda Mwananchi, Linda Ground, or Linda whoever. Back to you, Mark.
Okay, thank you so much. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Judith. Thank you so much, Judith. The presence of Mike. Thank you so much, and everyone who is watching. And Barak, you've spoken about Babu Wino, Edwin Sifuna, and of course James Orengo. And you say that before we get to the real questions of the day, I just want to hear your take. The Nairobi politics is not that tribal as these other counties. And if you've ever heard of the governor of Oma Bay, there's a day she was saying that she was speaking in Luo, that the people of Luo should not like follow Babu Owino or should not look into the exact directions that he's taking politically, because he's doing so because he comes from Nairobi, and for him to be relevant in Nairobi, he has to go that direction. And he was telling the people not to follow that direction because, according to her, she's saying that Babu is defending the votes and also trying to appeal to his voters that he is standing with them. If you look at James Orengo, who is the governor of Siaya, and you look at the political formations or the number of politicians who are ganging up or coming up to go for the governor's seat in that particular area, they've started speaking in one direction, and their own goal is getting Governor James Orengo out of that particular seat. But again, you did mention something that Orengo has been in this for quite a long time. So the question I want to ask you, if you compare Edwin Sifuna and of course Babu Owino being in Nairobi and James Orengo coming from or having his seat in Siaya, politically, is he even afraid of losing the seat that is currently holding, being that he's the only one who is fighting for this Linda Mwananchi thing, and we're not seeing this consistent with quite a number of Luo leaders. Your view?
Thank you for that. And let me say hi to Judith and Goodia, Gypsy Corner. Happy New Year to you and happy to see you too. I think Nairobi, either tribal or not, the politics of Nairobi is very dynamic compared to the rural Kenya. And that is why I will not blame Babu or Sifuna for going the direction they are taking, because it is for their own political survival. Normally, world over, voters who live in the capital or in urban centers, they tend to behave differently compared to those who live in rural areas. So that is something that has been proven globally, because those who are live in urban centers or in capital, they shape the politics of the country, because they are more enlightened, more exposed, and even the challenges of high cost of living and these other challenges, they experience them more compared to those who live in rural areas, because of in urban centers you tend to purchase everything, from cooking to everything, cooking fuel, rent, transport, and everything, compared to those who live in rural areas. And so I think any politician who is wise, they will want to survive politically. So you follow a direction that you believe will benefit you as a politician and will enhance your political survival. Yeah. And that has happened. And that's why you see someone like Tim Wanyonyi, who is a member of parliament in Westland, who has been elected in Nairobi by using ODM party. And his brother, his elder brother, who is has his own political party, Ford Kenya, has been elected in Bungoma using Fort Kenya. And even remember the days of when we had Norman Nyaga in Kamukunji and the brother Joe Nyaga in Gashoka. They used to be elected using different political parties, but they are brothers. So you want in politics, you look for how can you survive politically, because you cannot just follow a group of people, your tribe blindly, or even your family member, and you lose your seat. That is not being wise politically. Yeah. So that is why you'll see Babu Wino, doing Sifuna, going against the wishes of the party leader, or the party members who are live in rural areas, because they might not be understanding the dynamics of the politics of the city. Now, talking about James Orengo, James Orengo's, look at his political journey, and I think even him being elected a governor in 2022, it was not because he was the best candidate. It was because he was given a direct ticket by ODM, and Raila played a very significant role in helping him to win that seat. He was not elected because he was the best candidate. He was just forced on people by ODM as a party. And I think, I think in 2027, you'll most likely see that the current governor of Siaya, the current senator of Siaya, and the current member and rep of Siaya, all of them are going to be replaced, because all of them were not elected in 2022. They were given a direct nomination, and Raila campaigned for the three, and they were elected, not because they were loved, but because of the party and the party leader. So right now, because Raila is no more, I can assure you, the three of them. And I don't know if you look, if you saw what happened today in Sierra, the woman rep was not even allowed to address the people, because they understand that these people were just given positions, and they were not deserving. So I can guarantee you that the three of them are going home, and we're going to have new leadership in 2027. Now, look at the Orengo's political journey, how he has been surviving, and how he has been having some confrontation with Raila. From the death of Jaramogi in 1994 to Raila forming his own party, NDP, in 1997, and Raila and Orengo and Raila going to separate ways in 2002, and Orengo vying for the presidency under SDP, and him losing even his parliamentary seat to a little known Bishop Ondiek in 2002, and him coming back to Raila and joining ODM in 2007, first of all in 2005 referendum, in 2007, and he has been surviving politically. If you look at how he has been elected seven subsequent time without campaigning, because of the belief or the perception that he is fighting for Raila Odinga in Nairobi to win the presidency. And he has been fighting for Raila Odinga in courts. And remember, he is a lawyer who has a vast experience, and he has a lot of respect from the people. So that is what he has been surviving on. But now, because there is no Baba who is going to vie in 2027, and that's why you see he's very busy spreading rumors that Raila was killed, I don't know by whom, and he's not naming the killers. And that is the only thing that he's talking about. Because if you look at his track record in Siaya, these things are there. Look at what he has been doing in Siaya. Yeah, compare if he's a good leader, compare to what he had been doing in Siaya and what other governors are doing in their own counties, and you will see that this guy is not fit to be a governor. He's only fit to be a legislature, because in legislation that's why you can become an activist and fight the government. But you know, once you are a governor, you have your own government to spearhead. You have your own government to lead. Yeah, so you are also being running, overseeing billions of Kenyan shillings. So you are supposed also to stand out and show the people how to do development in terms of infrastructure, education, health, because health is a devolved function. Yeah, so because he knows that he is not capable of managing and stewardship, and spearheading development in his county. That's why you see he's hiding into these young thugs who are now coming up and trying to create their space in the national politics. Yeah, but remember, he has been there. He was among the young thugs in 2000, in 1992. He was there with the likes of Raila Odinga, Keraito Murungi, Nyang' Nyong'o, Martha Karua in 2002. Yeah, so I feel even it's so shameful that he's still now coming up and joining the people like Sifuna, people who are now trying to fight for their space and in the national politics. So I think he will just maybe vie for another different seat, because he's not fit to become the governor of any county. Back to you, Mark.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Barak, for your take, and of course, allow me to acknowledge the presence of Goodyear. Thank you so much, Goodyear, for finding time to be with us. And now I just want us to get to the rally and the Amalemba grounds, Kakamega. Thousands gathered, chants of one term clashing with two term, placards in the air, police resistance, tear gas, chaos. Yet the rally went on. And the question I would ask you, Barak, is was this rally a rebirth of opposition politics or a sign of ODM's fracture? And then, based on the comments of Edwin Sifuna, is key points that he did spoke about. He spoke about, of course, the silence for them. I saw him calling for some few moments as a symbol. I mean, calling out this young guy who was killed in Kitengela, and calling him as a hero. And he was saying that that man died while they were fighting for what the people of Kenya have been fighting for. He also he's calling for the block, that the president should be blocked from actually continuing or coming for another election in 2027. And so the question I want to ask you about Edwin is Edwin Sifuna the new face of ODM, or just another factional leader in your own view, Mr. Barak? What are your take? And specifically on the latest stand that Edwin Sifuna has always taken on matters of the political party that is ODM. Remember, the other day he was removed, and then the court gave a clarification that is still the Secretary General. And maybe as you come, being that he was removed by the party, and the court did say that he's not, he's still the party deputy, the Secretary General. Do you think he'll be allowed to even access the offices to do his work as the Secretary General, Mr. Barak?
Well, if someone looks at your screen, they will think that you are more ODM than that Linda Mwananchi. If you're talking about ODM, I think Linda Mwananchi is not about ODM. It's about a new formation that is coming up. Maybe they still don't have an identity, but it's not ODM. That's why you will struggle to identify even ODM colors in that rally, because they are not aligning themselves with the ODM. They will mention the SG, the deputy party leader of Sosi, and maybe a few members of parliament, but you'll see that none of them was putting on ODM colors. So that is communicating to you that we are on our way out. Yeah, and I think once you are in such a formation or you are such a rally, you'll try as much as you can to speak to the people what people want to hear. Yeah, because I don't know this fight that people are talking about. Orengo today say that they want to bring change. As a country, we need to stop somewhere and now start now implementing the change that we've been talking about. Because we talk about we want change, and we elect leaders democratically. Nobody has ever overthrown the government in this country, apart from 2007 that was very complicated. But in 2013, someone was elected and sworn in broad daylight. Same with 2027, 2017, same with 2022. So if elections cannot bring revolution. Let me tell you, nowhere in the world where a revolution has been experienced through election. Revolutions come through overthrowing of the current regime and dismantling of the systems that are existing, the systems that are oppressing the Wananchi, systems that are so corrupt, systems that are supporting inequality, and so on and so forth. And most importantly, systems that are perpetuating economic inequality. Because if you look at the history of revolutions globally, the revolutions are fueled by economic inequalities and economic difficulties world over. So if this country, we talk about revolution as if you can just go to the election and elect someone who. Revolutions does not use election channel. You dismantle the systems, because one way of sustaining or maintaining the status quo is through elections. Yeah, so you cannot use election, yeah, to bring revolution in any country. It has never happened. That's why if you look at the leaders who have transformed, who have marched through a revolution and has transformed their societies, none of them came in office or through election. Yeah, you can even use an example of Thomas Sankara, who is very popular to my lips of many Africans. Look at the Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso. People are praising him. Was he elected by who? And right now he has even banned all political parties in his country. Yeah. So even if you look at the Muse next door here, who has now spoiled all the things that he worked so hard to build, Museveni, he was not elected when he was becoming the president. Yeah. So that is why when we are saying about change or revolution or whatever, let us remember that if you come in office through election, we have limitations of the constitution and the laws and so on and so forth, and you have to be sworn in I don't know from what time to what time. Those are those structures are captured by those who are perpetuating the inequalities that we're trying to fight about. Yeah. So if you want to tell people that now this guy was a hero, he was fighting for, what was he fighting for? Yeah. So they're telling you what you want to hear, but they themselves, they know that that is not really the reality. Yeah. So I'm in support of what is happening, because these guys are fighting for their space, and they are trying to introduce something new in the opposition politics, which has been lacking for some time. Rigiji, because of impeachment, was limited to some point. Kalonzo is a gentleman. He does not know how to play opposition politics because he has been in government for many years. Yeah. If you look at Matiang'i is not a politician. He was just a technocrat who performed very well when he was in office. So people loved what he was doing when in office, especially in education ministry and so forth. So people are trying to look at, maybe is Mr. Fix It. Can he come and fix our systems? If you look at Mutu Kama, the former CJ, the emeritus, CJ emeritus, he's a gentleman. This guy is Mzee Kanisa. He cannot speak the word, some of the things that the likes of Sifuna can speak. So they are bringing a flavor into the opposition politics. So they are going to fill the vacuum. Raila dominated opposition politics for over 40 years. So they're trying to fill that vacuum that has been left vacant, and it is something good for our democracy, yeah, because you cannot have a government that is dominating the political space, and the opposition is as weak as I don't know how to compare it with. So I think with the introduction of the Linda Mwananchi political outfit, and you see the kind of people they are drawing. Not audience but participants from other political parties. It shows you that it is something that is bringing in something new in the opposition politics, and they're adding flavor that was missing. And I think this is very good because it's going to make Ruto, maybe to awaken Ruto from sleep, because Ruto has been very much comfortable in that seat, and he has been overriding Kalonzo and I don't know those other political opposition politicians. But if you look at now these new guys, they are going to try to put him on toes, yeah, and remember that if he's not up to if he does not wake up from the slumber and work for the Wananchi for the remaining months before election, things might go south. So I think it's a good thing for the politics of this country, and it's something that should be encouraged. And I believe that it's going to bring a new political realignment in our political landscape as we head to 2027 elections. Back to you, Mark.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Barak, for your view and your take. We really appreciate. Allow me to just welcome my brother Ben to just give us his take as well before najua atatoroka hivi karibuni. So brother Ben, you can just give us an overview of what you think about the entirety of what was happening in Kakamega, and specifically the role of Edwin Sifuna, Babu Owino, James Orengo, and the kind of reception that they are getting. Your view, brother Ben?
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Makobura Barak. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, brother Ben. How are you?
So, are you the people who are disturbing us with the new term, the wave of Sifuna? Where have you been, my brother?
I've been around, up and about.
Thank you so much for seeing you in the show.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start with, especially when you look at the two rallies of today. There are a few things that I picked, especially from the Kakamega one, about the incidents that happened, especially the boda guy from Kisumu. I saw his tag is a boda guy from Kisumu, and this tells you how our politicians are. Why should you just recruit young men to come and cause disturbance in somebody that is going to have a rally, and he will do his rally and he will go his own way. So somebody has lost his life in some of the things that could have been prevented. I also saw people who were given they were lucky to have their motorbikes being fueled, and those are just politics. But also in Siaya, I saw the women rep was not given an opportunity to speak, and so many people were asking, like they even don't, they don't even know that there's somebody, a woman rep from Siaya. They were seeing her for the very first time, so they said she was not going to speak. So that also was there. I also saw cabinet secretary, that is Mbadi Opio and Joho, and this one also makes you to ask the questions whether we are law-abiding citizens, people who are guided by the law, especially when it comes to uh, service delivery, because our constitution does not at any point allow, especially the technocrats like Badi and the rest of them, to be in a public rally and castigate. That is not something that the constitution allows. But I think as a country, we've reached a point whereby we choose what favors us, provided that we have power, or we do what is right for us if we know that we can um, go away with it. But now come to Sifuna rally. It is very obvious that Sifuna rally tend to uh, attract especially the young people and the border, mostly the younger people, the people who are in those rallies. And what now I would say remains for Sifuna is how is he going to maintain the momentum, going forward and having a message that resonates with the people. Because remember, Kenya, we've seen situations like this, especially when something happens, like what is happening in Sifuna. This wave usually comes. Remember when we had Gen Z, it was about Maraga. Maraga came. Remember, they were saying that Maraga is the best person that is suited for this. Then we had, after disagreement of President William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua, Rigathi Gachagua was like darling of the people. People would want to listen to Rigathi Gachagua each and every weekend, you know. And when you have those leaders, people would say, we do not want any leader to speak. We want Rigathi Gachagua to speak. But now, with what is happening with Sifuna, he has opportunity on his side. How is he going to maintain the opportunity that has come? Two, look at now the political party. Barak talked about the donning ODM colors, which if you look at, you're keen enough, you would realize that they do not put on the ODM color when they're doing their campaigns. There's that light blue, which to me, it's a communication. Either there's a political party that is coming, even though they're hiding behind Azimio, but I know there's a political party that is coming that will bear those colors. Because even if you remember the picture of Babu Owino, there was a time Babu Owino had talked about his political party, and that was one of the colors. There was a white and the blue one. So I think there was a new political party that is coming, that is going to house them. That is Sifuna and the likes of Babu Owino. But I think they are going to converge in the name of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. That is going to be their identity, or the name of Raila Odinga will be thrown into their campaigns so that they can make them associate with the fan base of Raila Amolo Odinga. Because like that name of Raila Amolo Odinga has glued some of the fans. That's why like you'd see in each of the rallies, most of the people were mentioning the name of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, where he left us and who is selling who and who is who. So that is something that is going to happen. But now, when you come to ODM, I think what is happening, even though if you listen to some of the ODM members, especially like Beatrice Elachi, the other day I listened to her, so I think that it was a very internal. It is not internal. There's a big crack. And going forward, even though Oburu is saying they're going to have a conversation with the president, I think Oburu Odinga is going to go in the negotiation of the president as one of the weakest leaders with a party that was very strong. That is what is going to happen. And I don't know how he's going to bargain for what he wants, especially when you are very weak. Because when you look at our politics is all about the regionalism. You look at the region, what population do you command behind you? That what give you higher chance even of getting good position. Talking about of deputy president, if they want it, is going to go there very weak one. Then if you look also in political parties, you find that when people go for negotiation, the party leaders usually get the higher chances of getting the higher post. So take me, for example, like Oburu, just in case if things to go by that they've agreed with the UDA and they want to give position, Oburu is given like a deputy president. Yeah, how will that one be? And also you have to look also as ODM. Do you think that they can decide to give that to Wanga because like they say that, okay, let's give it to Wanga, yet she's only the party chair. So those are some of the intrigues that ODM is facing, especially when they go for negotiation. Another thing that also ODM will be facing when they go to negotiation is the population, especially where is the population going to come from? People tend to believe, I don't know whether Barack will agree with me about this, that from the way some of the ODM ambassadors or the ODM surrogates are talking, they are talking as if, especially like ODM is a Luo affair. You know, when we say that we've been out of government, is it the ODM or the Luo? When they say that ever since in our community, we've not get a CS president. I mean, CS for treasury. You know, is it for ODM or for Luo? And when Badi, by the way, when Badi was being given the position of the CS, people say that Badi was a Suba. But the other day, when he had Luo elders, especially in his office, he declared himself as a Luo. So you see that contradiction. So in the long run, in what is happening in ODM, the person that is going to have more casualty is the party, because I do not think that the party will even get more members of parliament if what we are seeing is going to continue. That is what is going to happen. Another thing also that also is playing part, especially when you look at the groups of Sifuna, we are seeing the Pauline Joroge in being in that camp. And Pauline Joroge has been very vocal, and is somebody who has been fighting for President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Is a President Uhuru Kenyatta person. So it tells you that the group of Wakina Sifuna, there is a coalition that they will be looking at. You are seeing the kind of friends that they have. It tells you Jubilee must be part of that coalition. The Wiper must be part of that coalition. They're still I think like they're still in that Azimio umbrella, if if to say. But on the other hand, the Linda Ground is basically still trying to say that they're consolidating the ODM base before they go into negotiation. And what Oburu doesn't realize, that when you go to Nairobi, they are combined negotiation, delegates meeting in Nairobi, that's with the UDA and ODM. I don't know how that one makes ODM stronger, or how does it make UDA weaker. So Oburu still has so many things to do for him to even be in a better position to negotiate or to have a good position. That is what I think.
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe Barak can give his views based on what you've said first before we get to. Yes, Barak.
Yes, Bwana Mark, and thank you, Bwana Ben, for that very insightful information. I think, if you ask me, I think there's nothing like ODM going to negotiate with the UDA, because number one, ODM, as we knew it, ODM was very powerful, and ODM died when Baba died, and that is the reality. What we are seeing here is now the it's like the funerals of ODM, and that is why you see the death of ODM is very important to Ruto, to Uhuru, to Rigathi, to Kalonzo, to all these major political players, because number one, ODM was a very powerful force to reckon with, and when the leader died, yeah, this sheep were left vulnerable, and now they are running all over the place trying to fight to look for a safe haven for them, and that is what is happening. Therefore, Ruto knows that ODM is very weak. He cannot negotiate with them substantially. There's nothing to give them, because you are not sure what they are going to bring on the table, and they know that. Oburu was not meant to be a party leader of ODM because he does not have the capacity of leading ODM. And nobody was meant to lead ODM apart from Raila Odinga. So when Raila died, the ODM leadership, it was the end of it. That's why you see ODM had three deputy party leaders. And if you look at them, logically, a leader should have a deputy. So in any case that the leader is not there, the deputy takes over. So if among the three deputy party leaders, none was deemed fit to take over from Raila, it shows you that this deputy party leadership is just there for the sake of it. Yeah. So nobody should imagine that ODM is going to negotiate with the UDA and they will get, I don't know, deputy party leader from where? Deputy president. Hakuna mali watapata. So the people who are engineering the funeral of ODM, one of them is Ruto, another person is Uhuru, and all these other people. And that's why you see they are sending their people to infiltrate this Linda Mwananchi, I don't know, Linda whatever, so that it is very clear that there is no way of reconciling these two factions, because it is in their interest for ODM to die completely. Kwa sababu gani? If these people are together, they are going to be very strong. And if they get the deputy presidency, then it means that in 2032, they're going to even to be much stronger, because they will want to elevate that deputy president to vie for the presidency. And who will want that? If you are in the opposition, if you are in the Jubilee or in whatever, because they want to consolidate power in their interest. And ODM is nowhere near their interest. This thing is very deep. Yeah. And let me tell you, those who are dreaming that, I don't know, Sifuna, Babu will become the president in the near future, those are wet dreams. In 2032, if Batimbaya Ruto acquire president 2027 again, I can assure you, Ndindi Nyoro will be ripe and he will be fronted and he will be the president in 2032. So these other guys who are noisemakers, they are just trying to be kept busy, imagining that they can even ascend to the presidency, while Ndindi Nyoro is being molded and being nurtured to ascend to the presidency in 2032. That's why you see he's being associated by this group, but he has never been declared his support or his preference, whether he's supporting these people. People are just saying, can you align yourself with them? But they know. If you remember very well, in 2007, when Uhuru Kenyatta was being fronted to run against Kibaki, he withdrew and said, no, I'm not running. Yeah, I'm supporting the president. And what was happening? He was being molded to take over in 2013. Yeah. And when 2013 came, the guy was ripe for the presidency. So sometimes these politics are played in a way that you cannot see them if you are just someone who's being led by emotion. And if you look at how Ndindi Nyoro is trying to acquire economic education, and is Kenya problem, and what we say that one third liberation is about economics. Yes, we got political independence, but economically we've never been independent. The leaders that we've been getting since independence, they have not been able to deliver us economically. Yeah. So Ndindi Nyoro is presenting himself as someone who can deliver just that. Yeah. And if you look at how he has been acquiring credentials locally and abroad, yeah. So basically, in short, people who are engineering the death of ODM, they are all stand for benefit from the death of ODM, starting from Ruto himself, starting from Jubilee leaders, and also even in Kalonzo Musyoka and Ndindi Nyoro, not Ndindi Nyoro, Rigathi Gachagua, because the strength of ODM is a threat to them. And Raila has been a threat to these people for many years. So in his absence, let us dismantle his house completely and finish it off, so that even if ODM is going to survive, it will have not more than 10 members of parliament. And I can assure you in 2027, it's going to be a problem for this party. If they manage to get more than 10 members of parliament, it's going to be a miracle to them, because the intention is to dismantle it completely, so that by 2027 after election, hakutakuwa na ODM ambayo itakuwa inatushtua, so that by 2032 we will not be in the equation at all. But because Uhuru is pumping money in one function, Ruto is also pumping money in the other function. So because people, money can corrupt people's mind and distort their thinking. So they cannot see the thing critically. Yeah. But if you look at it from not from a point of not being led by emotions and any other thing, you will see critically whose interest it is for the ODM to collapse. It's obvious. Ruto will not want to negotiate with an ODM that is very strong. Who wants that? Yeah. And also the opposition, they don't want to deal with an ODM that is very strong. If they are forming a coalition that is going to form an opposition coalition, they don't want to deal with a strong party. They've had a strong ODM before, they know. Remember CORD in 2013. The Wipers knows the strong ODM, how it can intimidate them. Remember 2017 NASA coalition. Yeah. Remember 2013, how ODM dismantled Azimio and took over the leaderships in the houses. Yeah? So they know that a strong ODM is not good in their interest, both in government and both in the opposition. So what do? The leader is not there. Yeah, Oburu is wewe hata ukiangalia Oburu, do you see him as a party leader? Surely. So he's just there. They're saying, oh, he's there as a transitional leader. My friend, before you transition, there will be no ODM to transition. Yeah. So these young guys, the SG and these other guys who are still young, and they are being, if you are young and someone puts a million in your account, what will you do? You will get excited and you'll do whatever they want. Yeah. So they are going to be used both sides, because I know Ruto is pumping Linda Ground, Uhuru is pumping Linda Mwananchi, and they are going to be set against each other. Yeah. And by the time we have in 2027, I can assure you, ODM itakuwa ina struggle kupata member of parliament. Na hivyo tutakuwa tunasema hai baba, tulikupenda sana, lakini unfortunately when you passed away, nyumba yako ilivamiwa na wakora, na wakora wamemaliza nyumba yako. So these people, they still think that watu bado wanapenda tu ODM vile wanapenda. I'm telling you, tulikuwa tunapenda baba, not ODM. So the support that Baba had when he was alive is not the same support that ODM has right now that Baba is no more. And that should be very clear to these people, both in Linda Mwananchi and also in Linda Marono ground. People loved Raila Odinga because of his past. The Raila just built his political capital. Yeah. And people just loved him. The same love is not transferable to anybody or to any formation. So these people should try to nurture their own support and their own love. Yeah. Hata mukisema, oh, Raila liwa so that we love you, my friend. Every human being will die at some point. Yeah. Nobody will live forever. Then that's why you see they are invoking Raila's name everywhere. For today is Yaya Raila. Ukienda Kakamega Raila. They cannot move out of that name because that is the name that they are holding on to. But in 2027, wengi wataumia. I'm telling you, woman rep wa Siaya leo aliona na macho. She has been a woman rep since 2013. Leo alikatazwa kuaddress hawa watu because people cannot see anything tangible that this woman has done for 15 years as a woman rep. So chuma cha watu wengi kiko motoni, I'm telling you. Anyway, these guys, I'm telling you, the destruction of ODM is in the interest of UDA, led by Ruto, Jubilee, led by Uhuru, DCP, led by Rigiji, Wiper, led by Kalonzo. They love it to see ODM collapse because now these members will not have to give them pressure when they're negotiating, either with the formation of forming the government or formation of forming the opposition. Back to you, Mark.
Okay, thank you so much, and allow me to also acknowledge Eric the Nairobian in the comment section. Goody anasema, I believe everything Barak is saying, but the script is shocking. Eric here is saying Goodia isn't believing you. Barak is very correct. And there's also naona Goodia anauliza Eric whether they have a party, and Eric is saying there's a party in making. Okay, maybe we'll wait and see. Before we finish the conversation that was there in Kakamega, we saw Babu Owino, the youthful firebrand. His defiant slogan, leave ODM to us and leave. That has always been his slogan. His promise that intimidation and tear gas won't stop the movement, the intervention to protect an injured youth. So does Babu's fairy style energize ODM or risk alienating moderates? And just in your own view again, Barak, based on uh, the previous comments that were coming about the kingpin of the Luo land, Babu's name was mentioned quite a number of times. And so far, apart from now, the two, let me talk about now the young politicians who are coming out to be firebrands. That is Babu Wino, Edwin Sifuna, amongst the other young parliamentarians who are in this faction that went to Kakamega. What is your take on Babu Owino's stand and, of course, role in these particular movements, and whether he can be identified as the Luo leader or something? In your own view, you'll give us your take on that, Barak. No, I think we give, Barak, it's your turn. You'll give us your view on that. And then James Orengo, who is also, nowadays I hear him being called the statesman. His declaration of loyalty to Sifuna's leadership. He's been talking about tsunami nowadays, and he said that the rally was going to be like a tsunami. Does Orengo support stabilize Sifuna's faction or deepens the ODM split? But again, what is his role? Being that he was there in the other fights, the fight for democracy and good governance, human rights, and all those things. And that has been the politics that he has played ever since. What are your take? Your take in the role of the governor of Siaya, vis-a-vis, of course, the comments that are coming from the people, and especially his role as a governor in Siaya. People are saying that he's on the street talking about change of government and all those kind of things, but he himself cannot manage to rule the county of Siaya, and that there are so many things that are not in order. We also saw Richard Onyonka criticizing, of course, the issue of hired goons, which have always been disrupting the rallies. He emphasized on the grassroots mobilization across counties. Again, is ODMs, what is the role of Edwin Sifuna? Richard Onyonka, and being that he is from Kisii, so many times we've seen him declaring and saying that his support is for Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i, and that they are going to support him for his presidential bid. We've seen him working with Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i in almost every platform that Matiang'i used to go or to have. What again is his role in this particular movement? Not forgetting Karoli Omondi. The other day, he was in Citizen, and he actually surprised quite a number of people who didn't know that he's a moneyed or is somebody who is very rich. He did say that he's been funding ODM, and based on the figures that he quoted, so many people were, surprised. But the young man, the senator of Migori, also confirmed that whatever he was saying was partly true, that he's been assisting, but not just him, quite a number of them in financing the party. Karoli Omondi is currently the Secretary General of Azimio, and ODM is exiting Azimio. Karoli Omondi, not once, but so many times, he has even said that he's not going to vie under ODM. But remember, he's also coming from the same constituency where the cabinet secretary in charge of treasury is coming from. Again, what is his role and how far can he get to in this politics? Barak?
Sijui mbona umeruka Ben.
You were just reverting. You were just giving, Ben had given his views, and then you came in just giving a clarification on what he had given.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you've asked so many questions, but I don't know. Let me start with the last one. I don't know about Karoli Omondi. I watched his interview at JKL, and I think number one, I think the interview was scripted to meet a certain objective. Because when once you look at the people, if you invite two people and you see that there is a symmetry between the two, they are not one seems superior to the other, then the media is not just does not just operate in a vacuum. They operate to meet a certain objective, and most of the time they are used by political elite to communicate a certain message to the public. So you should know that. And I think if you look at how that interview was conducted, it was exactly meeting a certain objective. So Karoli Omondi was given a position in Azimio, and he was really he was, I think he's the secretary. He took over from Junet Mohammed. And if you look at how he's talking about Azimio, I'm sure you and I have forgot about Azimio a long time ago, but they're trying to revive it. So I think I'll not say much about that, because when you are trying to flog a dead horse so that you can maybe race with it, I think you're not being realistic, especially in Kenyan politics. That is why you've seen someone like Uhuru Kenyatta, baba yake alikuwa KANU, akakufa akiwa president, Moi akatake over, and baadaye Moi akarudishia Uhuru chairmanship ya KANU when Moi was going home. And when Uhuru wanted to become the president, he had to leave KANU because he knew KANU is a dead horse. You cannot flog a dead horse and succeed. And he went and formed TNA, and through TNA he became the president. So hii mambo ya kurevive vitu ambazo zilishakufa kitambo, and you want to make a impact politically in Kenya, it cannot work. Anyway, you talked about Orengo, and I think and his role in this thing. I think Orengo, if you listen to what Orengo is saying, he's just talking about Raila was killed. I don't know Jaramogi was killed. I don't know if Jaramogi and Raila were supposed to live forever, because I think he's not sensitive to the families of Raila. Raila Odinga had a family, bibi yake ndio hiyo. If he's saying that Raila was killed by Ruto and bibi yake Raila ndio anachukua kazi kutoka kwa Ruto, surely who is cheating who? Yeah, let us be realistic and leave politics of emotions aside. Kama mimi nimekuua wewe na bibi yako anachukua kazi kutoka kwangu, na another a stranger who is not even a relative to the family is complaining, then who is a fool here? Yeah. So Bida was interviewed yesterday in parliament. He has accepted the position, and she's obvious. Yesterday, if you look at the interview, she was the one interviewing the parliamentarian. So it means the parliament is going to approve her, and she's going to take up the position. And Orengo anakimbia kila mahali akisema Raila ameuawa. So nani aliua Raila? Atuambie. Kama bibi yake amechachukua kazi kutoka kwa Kasongo. Kama Kasongo ndiye alimuua, then anamaanisha bibi yake alikuwa anamchukia ama anamaanisha nini? What does it mean? Yeah. So let us be serious. Orengo is not an administrator. Orengo alipata kazi ya governor by mistake. And remember, the people of Siaya did not welcome the idea of giving Orengo a direct ticket. I'm telling you, I come from Siaya County. Yeah. And I am part of those people who are not agreeing with the idea of ODM giving Orengo a direct ticket. And you can see among the 47 counties in Kenya, Orengo is an activist. So Orengo can excel very well in legislation and also in litigation in the court. But in terms of managing a county, yeah, he does not have the capacity to run a county and spearhead run over a county and spearhead development within a county and oversee expenditure of billions of shillings within his county. And that's why you see he had a problem with his deputy and so on and so forth. But right now, look at this formation. Who you want to tell me that all the governors we have 47, all of them are are for the government? No, we have governors who are not supporting this government. but they're not behaving the way Orengo is behaving. You know, as a governor, you have a government that you are leading. You are also a president of a county. Yeah. So you have abandoned, you are abandoned your duties as a governor, where umeenda umeshikana na legislatures who are doing their exact role. Because the legislatures, if because National Assembly and Senate, that's a parliament. And parliamentarians, they oversight the government. National Assembly oversight the national government, Senate oversight county governments. Yeah, and they doubled up also with the national government. So the likes of Orengo, the likes of Babu, Sifuna, Ososi, they are just doing what they have been elected to do. But Orengo, what is Orengo doing? He has been elected to lead the county government of Siaya. Yeah, he is not oversighting any other government. He, in fact, county government of Siaya should oversight him. But what is he doing? Yeah, ameingilia kazi ya wengine, who are supposed to oversight the national government. Yeah, so it shows you that this guy was not fit to become a governor in the first place. He was not fit to become a governor, and that's why he does not distinguish the difference between an activist, a litigator, and a governor. Yeah, so I think it will do him more good in 2027 if the voters in SIA can tell him, we love you, but activism love you more. So please focus on activism, focus on oversighting the national government. But in Siaya, we need a governor who will implement development projects, who will ensure that we have good quality healthcare services, who will ensure that infrastructure is improved, who will ensure that our agriculture is working, who will ensure that we have ECDs and so on and so forth. Yeah. So Orengo's all politics, it has no place in Linda Mwananchi formation. We have vibrant young leaders like Sifuna, Babu, mtu kutoka Saboti anaitwa nani, Hamisi Kibageni, and so forth. So that age group, that crop, they are fit and they are capable of leading a vibrant opposition that can put the government on toes to ensure that it delivers and it's held to account, as because all these are parliamentarians. Now, I don't know, you asked about Sifuna. I can't remember the question about Sifuna. But what I know is that these year guys are fighting for their space. And depending with the sustainability of their movement, they don't have political capital at the moment, because capital is built with the time. Yeah, you don't just build it on a day or on a month or in a year. You build political capital with the time, and that's why you saw Raila was a force to reckon with, because Raila built his political capital with time. Now, if you want to know that you have a political capital, can you form your own political party and see how many people are going to follow you in your political party? Remember, let me give you an example of this Raila guy that these guys are just holding on to. Raila Odinga, when he did not find space in Ford Kenya after the death of his father, 1994, in 1996, after fighting, wrestling with Wamalwa Kijana to take control of Ford Kenya, and wrestling with, remember Orengo then sided with Wamalwa Kijana, Raila Odinga resigned as a member of parliament for Lang'ata under Ford Kenya, and he formed National Development Party, NDP, and he vied again, and he won, and he came back to parliament. In 1997, a good number of members of parliament followed him from the Luo community, and one from Kilimuru, but Orengo and Joe Donde did not follow him. They were elected in Fort Kenya. Now, remember, when we were approaching 2002 election, and there was some movement called Rainbow, and Raila alikuwa anawaambia, mkicheza hii Rainbow itakuwa chama, mkicheza Rainbow itakuwa chama. And he formed Liberal Democratic Party, LDP, And the members of Rainbow joined that party, and he automatically became the leader of LDP. So when they moved out and they formed Rainbow National Rainbow Coalition with the NAK National Alliance Coalition, National Alliance of Kenya, the one of DP, SDP, and Ford Kenya, he was a leader of LDP. And remember when they formed this thing, and after winning 2002, and they were having some problems, and 2005 referendum provided an opportunity, and they were formed that orange movement. And in Kisumu, when Balala declared that the orange itakuwa chama, and Raila automatically, yeah, he led the movement, and he automatically became the leader of Orange Democratic Movement. Yeah, and looking back, how many people followed him in 2007? The numbers are there. Yeah, in the whole country, out of 210 members of parliament, Orange Democratic Movement got 99 members of parliament. Now, so after that, you could see, even when 2013, when they were negotiating in a coalition with Wiper and Ford Kenya, being the four-chord coalition, automatically Kalonzo and Wetangula were coming, knowing that Raila is the leader of this movement. So we are just there to play second fiddle and below. So as once you portray yourself as a leader and see how many people are going to follow, because that's how you build political capital. Yeah, look at 2017 NASA coalition, Azimio coalition. So right now, these guys, no one is willing to step up and take the leadership. Yeah. And as long as that is still there, then it becomes a problem. Because any movement, we must have a leader. And if you want to know that you are popular, take the lead and see how many people are going to follow you. Yeah. And once you do that, then you earn the right to call yourself or to declare yourself as the de facto leader. Yeah. But mahali kuna watu wengi, people who assume that they are all equal. My friend, there is nowhere where all people are equal. One person must take leadership and see how many people are going to follow them. So until that happens, then as political analysts, we'll still hold our horse and say, let us wait and see. Because for now, we don't know who is leading this movement. And we don't know, once the leader is declared, how many people are going to follow this person. Because how many people are going to believe in his capacity to lead. Because that is what determines sustainability of a movement and the success of a movement. Yeah. So for example, if this in a Mwananchi, if Sifuna say, okay, if vita ODM, by the court will just determine whether he was legitimately removed from office or not. Once they determine that, then that's it. Yeah. So if Sifuna comes from ODM today and say, I have formed my party B, and now we are waiting to see how many people are going to join him and be members of that party and vie in that party and possibly win or retain their seat in that party. That is how you become a leader. If Babu Wino believes that he's now the so-called Luo kingpin, can he become from ODM? Because ODM has no place for him. He's saying that the party should be handed over to me. Who hands over a party to another person? It has never happened. It is you to form your own. They come from this one because you don't have a space here. Form your own and see how many people are going to follow you in that formation. That's why now you can declare yourself, or you can even assume that you are now a kingpin. Yeah. When Raila was denied, Raila wrestled for Kenya and he was thrown, he was denied opportunity to lead for Kenya. Hakushinda akidemand that he hand over the party to me, it was my father's party. No, he decamped and formed his own, and people followed him there. Yeah, so you cannot tell people that you hand over the party to me. Hand over, who are you to people to hand over the party to you? This party was built by Raila and Raila is dead. Sa kila mtu apiganie nafasi yake. Ukipata sawa, ukikosa sawa. It is upon the people now to follow the new leader, but the party cannot be handed over to you. Party iko na ndugu ya mwenye chama, na I'm sure Winnie will take over from Oburu. Yeah? Remember Moi Moi and Kanu, vile Moi alihand over party kwa Uhuru akatoroka akawachana na Kaya akaform TNA, wakapatia Gideon ndio amekuwa stranded nayo, hata ajua afanyie nini. He is not even a member of parliament, he is nobody, and he's just a chairman who is just a chairman. That is how popularity fades with time. Yeah. So I will, maybe if I can get at what to talk, those who talk to these people, tell them, huwezi kuwa a leader if you are holding on to another person's party. In Kenya, we don't have political party. We have special purpose vehicles to acquire or to maintain power. We are not like Tanzania, where Nyerere was formed CCM, and CCM has been there up to now. We are not like Tanzania. We're not like South Africa, where ANC has been there for over 100 years and is still in power. My friend, we are in Kenya, where political parties are private properties, private entities of individuals to play brokerage to power, to acquire power, to maintain power, and so on and so forth. So if you want to follow the Kenyan system, form your own and see how many people are going to follow you. That's why you have more than 150 registered political parties, but none of, even a quarter of them are parliamentary parties. Yeah. So you should not be making noise. Hand over the party to me. Hand over the party to me. Hand over the party to me. As who? Form your own. Na uone kama watu ngapi watakufuata. Yeah. So that is when now people even will see that you are serious. You want to lead. But hii mambo ya kulilia party ya mwenye alishakufa na party yenyewe ni kama inafuata you are wasting your time and nobody is going to take you serious. Back to you, Mark.
Mark ameenda.
Mark umelala? Ben, maybe you can react to
Okay, let me react. I think Mark has maybe amelala. You know, to start with the Babu Owino of handing over the political party. I think Babu Owino is just using that to whip the emotions of the people, because he knows deep inside him how our political parties are usually the big business. And that's why you're seeing all this what is taking place. You know, we are only just seeing people still fighting for the orange population base. Like, people want to inherit that Baba's base. You know, we've not gone financial. You know, that one will come financially. It will come. And that's why the I think, like, the family of Oburu Odinga and the Raila family will have to navigate it very, very, in a very, would I say, in a very intelligent way, so that we don't see those cracks, especially people are fighting for ODM. And you've spoken about the history of the major political parties that have overstayed the time since their formation. You've talked of CCM, you've talked of ANC. You know, something that what makes it quite much different with us is that, like, when you look at our political parties and how they are formed, our political parties are usually formed out of maybe something has happened and another person is forming this political party because of the revenge. For instance, look at how the UDA party was formed. Do you think the UDA party was formed because Ruto had an ideology and a vision for this country? No, the UDA party was formed just because what he wanted in the Jubilee was not offered and the way he was treated. So it was forming his political party. Second, it was coming to revenge. And even if you look at a majority of those political parties, you've given us the history, even how Raila moved from all these political parties until he built ODM. You know, you see that he was building the foundation of that party. The people did not believe in ODM. Nobody believed in ODM, including even right now, people like Wanga, Junet. And that's why you see all this have happening. They don't even believe in that party. You know, that's why you talked of them mentioning the name of Raila Amolo Odinga. If our political parties could have been political parties that are independent, what is happening in ODM could have not happened in the first place on how Oburu Odinga was installed. Why were they installing Oburu Odinga in the first place? You know, why were they installing Oburu Odinga? Maybe because Oburu was his brother. They just wanted to maintain the face of Odinga because he was his brother. But there was nothing that, in terms of leadership, that could have contributed Oburu to be given that leadership, because even during his campaigns, you know, he has gotten so many favors from his brother. So that could be the reason. Then, secondly, that's why I'm saying that, you know, Babu Wino cannot be given that ODM, because it is a business entrepreneur, cannot just be given to you and you start run it. You will run it with the vision that it is not for. That is one. Now, come to James Orengo. I agree with you. James Orengo, for some good reason, um, in terms of governorship, in terms of leadership, especially when it comes to the CEO of CIM, James Orengo has not done good job, especially even if you compare with other governors and even how he does his job. I feel that James Orengo, what the James Orengo can do best, especially is legislation, or especially when it comes to the interpretation of law, things to do with the law, he can do well. And even by him being on that group, I think Orengo has sensed one thing. Orengo has believed that he's not going to be a governor next year. And I don't think that is something that would disturb Orengo if he loses the election, or even what people are saying, he doesn't care, because, you know, when it comes to election and things to do with the leadership of the county, he's not good. So that is what I think about Orengo. Barak, you?
Yeah. I think you just reinforced what I was talking about, and it's just a disaster. I think the ODM, the death of ODM, is a blessing in disguise for the people of Luoland. Later, if we just want to be factual here, in especially in terms of county leadership, yeah, because if you look at for example, Sierra County, yeah, look at Oma Bay County, we've been having governors who are incompetent, yeah, but because of ODM, this is the home turf of ODM. Once you have been given a direct nomination, you know you are a governor, you are a senator, you are whatever. And I think this is going to be a blessing in disguise for the voters in this area, so that they can have now leaders who are elected based on their competence and who can really work on the benefit of the people. Now, before we continue, let me just ask, Gypsy Kona say that that is what they did to Tom Boya's wife. I don't know what you mean by they. Who is they? Maybe if you can clarify. Who is they? And people power prevailed bribes than the difference between the late Raila and Ruto. Raila had a organic support, people who believed in him. And Raila never gave handouts anywhere throughout his political life. He did not believe in giving out. People just loved him. And people were even ready to die for him. And if you remember what happened in Uhuru Park on 30th of January 2018, my friend, that is how you know that you are a leader leading the people. Yeah? People filled up to capacity Uhuru Park just to see him being sworn in, not as a president of the country, but as a people's president. And you understand the tension that was there in the country. And I can assure you, if you are alive and you were there that time, you could see that this guy is a man of the people. Anyway, You are saying, Gypsy Kone was saying Gladys Wanga out. I'm not sure what you are saying, what you mean by that. But maybe if you can maybe write and clarify so that we know how to talk about that. He's out of what? Maybe if you can say something about that. Mark, naona umerudi.
I think that is just a slogan that Goodyear normally brings forth. I don't think anamaanisha kitu. Hiyo inakuwaga tu slogan yake.
Na inamaanisha out of what? That maybe,
Out, from what I understand based on the views of Goodyear, I think anamaanisha ya kwamba Gladys Wanga is not a good leader according to yeye, and especially on how she has handled quite a number of things to do
for,
with this ODM.
for example,
For example, the issue of ODM.
which
I remember
issue
it.
particularly?
That is what I'm trying to clarify. But I wish Goody would be here to give that clarification.
Let me
Brother
mention
Benson, I
something.
think you know partly. Maybe Brother Benson can say it.
Okay, but wacha Ben aseme kwanza. Then
Let Goodyear explain why. Let Goodyear explain.
unajua, okay. Ben, go first then.
No, just go ahead.
I wanted to say, so sorry. I wanted to say something about Gladys Wanga. If you look at ODM during Raila's time and even now during Oburu's time, if people are saying that ODM should give room for young people to lead, and if you look at ODM has given room for young people to lead. If you look at Sifuna, Gladys Wanga, Simba Arati, Abdul Somad, Sharif Nasir, those are age mates. Yeah. So I don't know, apart from the party leader, you don't have to be the party leader. Party leader ni mwenye chama, ni mwenye kampuni. Yeah. And if you look at the other leaders, national party chairman, the national chairperson, the secretary general, deputy leader, all these people are young. So ni kiti gani ingine mnafikiria mkipata ati mtafanya kitu tofauti? Because the party leader is the de facto, he's the owner of the company. We said party leaders in Kenya, parties in Kenya are companies. They are business entities. Yeah. So you've been given all these other avenues to play your politics. So I don't know what Gladys Wanga did that you are saying she should be out. I'm not sure. But in terms of competence, Gladys Wanga has done so much in Homa Bay County compared to her counterparts in Luoland. Yeah. And because of maybe her personality, maybe some people don't like her personality, but in terms of competence, let us look at she's a governor. Apart from being the chairperson of ODM, she is the governor. She is responsible to ensure that she delivers to the people who elected her from Homa Bay County. And remember, Gladys Wanga was the first governor in Luoland to attract the presidential visit in Homa Bay, even before Ruto reconciled with Raila after 2020 election. Ruto visited Homa Bay County and they had an event there. And remember, out of that, Homa Bay County by there has benefited a lot from all the 4 counties from Luoland. Homa Bay County has been the biggest beneficiary, courtesy of relationship between Gladys Wanga and the president. And let me tell you, what matters a lot to the people is service delivery. Can you ensure that you improve infrastructure? Can you ensure that you improve the health system? Can you ensure that education has been? Can you ensure that we can trade freely in security, so that, because we really don't care much about how you live your personal life, whether you are having sexual affairs with your, I don't know, EPA or not. That does not bring ugali to our table. But if we improve our health system, if my grandmother can visit a healthcare home there na atibiwe na apone na rudi nyumbani kama ako sawa, if my kinsmen from home can go home and can go to school and get a quality education. Yeah, if we can improve our infrastructure, ati mtu anaweza drive mpaka kwa mlango yake, ama mtu ama tukipoteza mmoja wetu, we can drive the body to the doorstep. Atuachi mtu kwa shopping center, tunaanza kubebana na coffin tukipanda milima na mabodi tukienda kwa boma. We have to have people in offices who can deliver so that our people can have a quality lifestyle, quality lives, yeah, so that tupunguze zile matatizo ambayo tuko nazo from where we are coming from, yeah. So I think that is my perspective, and this idea. Let me just say one thing. This idea of people saying that the party have been sold to Ruto, negotiating for a coalition, it is not selling a party. Remember, from 2013, we've been having coalition governments, coalition governments and also coalition oppositions. Because in 2013, we had the CORD and the Jubilee coalition. In 2017, we had NASA coalition and we had Jubilee, the other side. In 2022, we had Kenya Kwanza coalition and Azimio, the other side. So negotiating for a coalition is not equal to selling a political party. And remember, yeah, you cannot sell ODM, my friend. ODM belongs to the Odinga family. It is only the Odingas who can sell the party. Not Gladys. Gladys is just is just there as a flower girl, my friend. You can the Odinga property. Yeah, that's why uliona mtoto wao akisema you cannot reduce ODM to bedroom talks. Yeah, and she was very categorical because this is a property of the Odingas. It is only the Odingas who can decide. So hao wengine wote naona Johan anasema hata mimi nataka kuwa particular ODM, my friend, in your dreams. This is the Odingas investment. They have really invested a lot in it. Na wengine wote wamekuwa wanafuata tu kama bendera inafuata upepo. So people who are blaming Wanga, they don't understand the dynamics of Kenyan politics. The Gladys Wanga, remember, has been a beneficiary of Raila Odinga's leadership of trying to bring to hold ladies' hands and bring them up. And remember, Gladys was a close ally of Raila. Remember, Raila went to Goma Bay na akatusi watu kwa Kijaluo, if you understand Luo, because of those who are trying to oppose her. And remember, he even gave Gladys Wanga a direct ticket in 2022 so that he did not subject her to a party nomination. Juu alikuwa najua Gladys angemwaga kwa nje. Yeah, and if you look at how Raila treated Gladys after that, and vile amekuwa akipeleka vitu Homa Bay County, it will takuonyesha kwamba Raila had a soft spot to this lady Gladys Wanga. And Gladys Wanga being among the young people who have risen to power, from a woman representative and now to a governor, I think we have been misjudging this lady. We've been so unfair to her. And remember, if it is selling ODM, it is only the Odingas, led by Mama Ida Odinga, Winnie Odinga, and maybe Junior, and not even Oburu. I'm telling you, not even Oburu. Ida Odinga, because yeye ndio next of kin wa mwenye ODM. Then the children, Winnie and Rai and Junior, those are now the children of the beneficiary. Oburu is just a caretaker mwenye na hold on to this enterprise baada ya mwenyewe kukufa suddenly, just to stabilize the ship. But later on, I can assure you, utaona Winnie Odinga akipewa leadership wa hii chama not sooner than later. You will see this. Oburu is just there for the time being, but the rightful owner of the enterprise is going to take over. Kama sio by 2027, sooner after 20, baada ya ODM kuperform so decimally or so badly in 2027, they will hand over the leadership to the rightful heir to the throne. Back to you, Mark. Marco Bura.
Yes, so Goody is saying Gladys Wanga is power hungry, and Goody is also saying that Barack. That's what I mean, nepotism.
Nepotism, absolutely. Tuko pamoja. Gypsy Corner.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I'll not go much based on we've gone na najua ni wakati wa kulala. So maybe what I'll do, I'll just give you a chance. You give us your final remarks and anything else that maybe you wanted to talk about that we've not asked or given the opportunity to give your view on, and then you'll give us your last remarks.
Well, let me maybe what I can say is that what is happening in the country, I think, is very good for our democracy. Alafu the young people should be given an opportunity to try to fight for their space. You know, power, power is not given, power is taken. And in our context, kupata power sio rahisi. Yeah, remember how Ruto fought. He fought tooth and nail to get power. So I think that we should celebrate those who are trying to come up to emerge among the millennials and maybe Gen Z, God willing, if they are going to emerge soon, and support them. Yeah, let us not fight those who are emerging because they are maybe our age mates, and maybe we are not lucky enough to reach where their level. Let us support them. Let them just uh, thrive and see how far they can go. Yeah, kijana yote asikuja akafinywa na kijana mwenzake. Wacha vijana wang'ang'ane tu, mwenye atafanikiwa kupata sawa, mwenye atakosa kufanikiwa sawa, pia kesho ni siku. Yeah, so I think that personally I support the movement of the young people, because I know that maybe new ideas, maybe injecting fresh blood in the system might somehow bring something new. Even though I know that in the history of this country, the oldest president that we elected at 72, that is Mwai Kibaki, is the one who tried to do something different, and we've been praising him for that up to now. But hao wengine tumechagua wakiwa young like Uhuru, Kibaki, not Kibaki, Uhuru and Uruto. They've been a huge disappointment to this country. But we don't lose hope. We believe that maybe someone younger will come up and maybe inject new blood in the system. So my plea to my fellow countrymen is that let us support those who are young. But mtu kama Orengo asikudanganye. Orengo has been there. I may spend all his life. He has been a minister of lands. He has never brought anything tangible in. And you know, land is a huge thing in this country. Yeah, land tenure system, theft of land. Yeah, problem of title deeds. He did not solve even 1/10 of the problems in the land sector. So I think he got his opportunity, but he did not utilize it well. So if we can support those who have never got an opportunity to do anything, and maybe hope, just hope that if they get an opportunity, they can do something to transform this country. Because if this country is good for me, it should be also good for you. Yeah. So anybody who can bring policies, not just implement policies that can benefit most of us as Kenyans, that is the person that we should support. Yeah. So that is my opinion. And to Gypsy Corner, thank you so much. And you know, you are my friend when it comes to football. And I think I know
Naomba ni
these days.
benki.
Hey,
Uliona vile ile kitu tulifanyia Arsenal, hiyo haijaitoka kwa akili hadi leo.
hey, jamani, Gypsy Corner, I know you know that these days we are no longer laughing stock the way we were some time back when we were having a joker as it is not it is not one point, my friend. Anyway, I think these days it is easier for me to watch our game than before, and I know that those who are laughing at us right now are saluting us when we are passing. So I hope that when I'm seeing you next time, you will be saluting me. Anyway, it was nice seeing you too, by Gypsy Corner, and all those who joined us, Eric Hayaga, Judith Carrera, and the rest who joined us in the comment section. It was nice seeing you, and looking forward to seeing you again. But whatever happens in our country, let me assure you, let us know that we have only one country to take care of. Hata tukikimbia tukienda kwa nchi nyingine, we are refugees or immigrant. We are not citizens. Hata tukifanikiwa tukue citizens, we will be citizens by registration, not by birth. That will never change. So God gave us Kenya akiwa anajua ni kwa nini. So let us maintain this country irrespective of where we are come from, irrespective of our tribe. We did not choose those ones. So let us work, join hands and work to build this country, our motherland. We don't have another country. Hata tukikimbia tuende nchi zingine, tutaitwa immigrants, tutaitwa refugees, tutaitwa nini? So tusaidiane kujenga hii nchi. Back to you, Mark. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Barak, for also finding time to be with us. It's been a while. We really appreciate your time, and not forgetting those who joined us at the comment section. Starting by Goodyear, thank you so much, Goodyear, for finding time to be with us. We really appreciate. And allow me to acknowledge Judith Caritha. Thank you so much, Judith, for also finding time to join us. We appreciate as well. Eric Kayaga, the Nairobian, the man from Uyo, is it Uyoma? Yeah, I believe so. Thank you so much for also finding time to be with us. We really appreciate. And of course, Gen Z 001, not forgetting. And also allow me to, Barak has talked about football. I think Barak, acha nikupewe wakati siku ingine so that we come tell them the reality here. And especially Goodyear. Tumtoe Liverpool, tumrudishe kwa timu ya watu wote. Yeah, so we really appreciate. I want to remind you all that this is the Benson Media. And over here, we do say that your opinion counts. If you are watching for the first time, we request you to kindly just like and subscribe, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us. Na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye for today.